No. What is XPath? It's an unknown path of HTML tree structure. What is XPath? It's an unknown path of HTML tree structure. To find out this unknown path, we make use of a concept called XPath. Okay, so what is XPath? It's an unknown path of HTML tree structure. Okay, to identify this, we go with two types. So in XPath, we have two types. One is absolute XPath and one more is relative XPath. Okay, in XPath we have two types. One is absolute XPath, one more is relative XPath. Now let's try to understand what do you mean by absolute XPath and what do you mean by relative XPath. Okay, now let me tell you the theory. Let me tell you the definition of absolute XPath. So what is this absolute XPath is? Look at my screen. Absolute XPath is the complete path. It is the complete path. Beginning from beginning from the beginning from the root to the element which we wanted to identify. Okay, so what is absolute XPath? It's a complete path beginning from where root to the element to which element we wanted to identify. Okay, so we make use of single forward slash. We make use of what? Single forward slash. Okay, so for traversing, okay, for traversing, we use single forward slash, single forward slash, which indicates traversing from parent to immediate child. Parent to what? Immediate child. Are you understanding the definition? Are you understanding the definition? It's a complete path. It's a complete path beginning from the root element to the element which we wanted to identify. So we make use of what? Single forward slash for traversing. Okay, which indicates what? Traversing from parent to immediate child. Traversing from where? Parent to immediate child. Example. Let's understand the example. So HTML, I'll just explain with a small example. Okay, HTML body div input there is one more div input. Now we have this in order to identify the element A, B, C, D. So we have elements A, B, C, D. We have 4 elements. Now I wanted to navigate to element A. Means I wanted to navigate to element A. So how do I navigate? Let me give the indexing. Let me give the indexing for this. 2, 2, 1 and 2. Tell me, if I want to go to A, how do I traverse? From HTML to body, from body to div, from div to import. For traversing, traversing means moving. English meaning, traverse, you don't know, traverse means moving. Okay, that means with the help of single forward slash. Okay, with the help of what? Single forward slash. Okay, so how do you reach a HTML slash body slash div1? Inside that we have what? Input 1. So this will navigate me to the A element. This will navigate me to the A element. Tell me, I want to go to the element D. How do I go to the element D? I want to go to the element D. It's a tag. All these are tags. HTML, body, div, all these are tags. How do I go to element D? HTML, body, div2 and input 2. This will highlight me D. This will highlight me D. Similarly, can you people write it for B and C? Can you write it for B and C? Can we write it for B and C? Yes, we can write it for B and C. So everybody understood how do you write the absolute X path? Understood everybody how do you write the absolute X path? Can we go with the real-time application? Can I go with the real-time application? Okay. Now, look here. Let me take one small application. Let me open the browser. Let me open Facebook. No, let me open one small application. Okay. Now, let me use absolute XPath. I wanted to identify this element. Okay, I wanted to identify this username element. Okay, let's write absolute XPath. Right click, inspect. Right click, inspect. Tell me guys, how do you write the XPath, absolute XPath for username text field? What do you mean by absolute XPath? Traversing from parent to that element. Means from where? From that HTML tag. HTML slash body slash head. Next body slash script slash style table T-body, TR, TD, T-table, T-body, TR, TR, TD, div, table, body, TR, TD, TD, div, TR, 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 table, script, TD. Okay, script, T-body, TR, TD, table. Next, TD, TR, TD. Okay, finally we identify the element. Is it easy? Is it easy? Is it easy? No. If you miss any one tag, if you miss any one tag, such element exception. Okay, so you don't use it in the real time. So if I want to use ABCD, I'll write one more example. ABCD. How do I use this? HTML, body, div, and input. Okay. So, what's a drawback of absolute XPath? What's a drawback of absolute XPath is in real-time application. In real-time application, we do not use absolute XPath because the length of the expression is too big. Because the length of the expression is too big. Okay, in the real-time application, we do not use absolute XPath because the length of the expression is too big. Okay, it's too big, and if you miss any one of the tag, if you miss anything, you'll get again what? No such element. You'll get no such element exception. Understanding? To overcome this, we go with the concept called as what? Relative XPath. In order to overcome the drawback, we go with what? Relative XPath. Understood? Why we don't see this one? They'll ask you in interview. Okay, what is absolute XPath? Why don't you use it in the real time? Everybody understood? Everybody understood why we don't use that? Because the length of the expression will be very big. The length of the expression will be very big. Okay, now let's understand relative XPath. It is used to search an element from the middle of HTML tree structure. HTML tree structure. It is not necessary or not required. It is not necessary to write long XPath. Are you understanding what's the use of relative XPath? It is used to search an element from the middle of the HTML tree structure. Don't need to traverse from the parent. Okay, it is used to what? Search an element from the middle of the HTML tree structure. It is not necessary to write the long XPath expression. So here it indicates double forward slash indicates traversing from parent to any child. So what is single forward slash? Traversing from parent to right immediate child. But here traversing from parent to any of the child. Any of the child. Clear? Clear? Okay. Now let us take an example. Let's take an example. HTML body div input A input B div input C input D. Now let me reduce the length of the expression. How, ma'am? How can we reduce? Look at this. 1, 1. Okay. Now there is an element called as A. I want to identify this element A. So how do I identify this A? So I have to reduce the length of the expression, right? So I don't want to traverse from parent to immediate. Okay. So I just want to go from year to year. I just want to go from year to year. So I'll always start with what? Double forward slash. What is the meaning of double forward slash? Double forward slash mean relative x path. What is double forward slash? Double forward slash mean relative x path. Traversing from parent to any child. So I'll write it as div1 slash input 1. So this double forward slash is taking care of all the tags which is above this, like HTML body, all the tags which is above this. Are we able to reduce the length of the expression? Yes. Now, if I want to go to C, how do I go to C? Double forward slash div2 and input 1. So if I want, you write it for B and you write it for D. So if I want to write for A, B, C, D, it is just double forward slash input. Am I able to reduce the length of the expression? Am I able to reduce the length of the expression? Am I able to reduce the length of the expression? Yes. Okay. So which one we will always use? We always use what type of expression? We always use absolute x path. Correct? We always use what? Absolute x path. Yes or no? Are you understanding? We always use what? Absolute x path. No, correct. We always use what? Relative x path only. And relative x path are indicated by what? Relative x path is indicated by what? Double forward slash. Double forward slash. So what is the meaning of double forward slash? What's the meaning of double forward slash? Traversing from parent to any child. Traversing from parent to any child. Are you understanding? So, okay. So, take a note. Everybody understood? This is from the interview point of view. Okay. So, you got to the conclusion. Which XPath expression you have to use. So, you got to the conclusion. So, which one you have to use always? Which one you have to use always? Which one you have to use? The relative XPath. Indicated, how the relative XPaths are indicated? How the relative XPaths are indicated? By using double forward slash. By using double forward slash. Everybody's clear till here? Everybody's clear till here? Okay. Please copy down, make a note. Then we'll understand the expressions. Make a note, start writing, start writing. Super. Now, let's start understanding the expert expressions. Okay, let's start talking about expert expressions. One by one, let's try to understand. So we're going to talk about what? Expert expressions. Okay, so whatever we have discussed till now, it is only for your interview purpose. Okay, whatever we have discussed till now, it's only for your interview purpose. Expert expression. The first one is expert by attributes. The first one is what? Expert by attributes. First one, expert by attributes. Syntax. What's a syntax? The syntax of expert by attributes is double forward slash. What's the meaning of double forward slash? What's the meaning of double forward slash? It's a relative expert. What's a double forward slash means? It's a relative expert. Traversing from parent to, traversing from where? Traversing from parent to any child. Traversing from parent to any child. Are you understanding? Are you understanding? Okay. So double forward slash tag name. Tag name. You all know how to identify the tag name. At the rate attribute name equals to attribute value. Okay, what's the syntax? Double forward slash tag name at the rate attribute name is equals to attribute value. So this is the syntax of expert by attribute. Clear? This is syntax of expert by attribute. Clear? So example. Let's assume there is a username text field. There is a username text field. I right click, I inspect it. So I'm able to see input type is equals to text, ID is equals to ABC. ID is equals to ABC. Now tell me, how many attributes are there? How many attributes are there? Two attributes. So you can take anything. You can take anything, but the end is a count should be what? 1 of 1. You can take anything, but count should be what? 1 of 1. You know that. Okay. So I apply this into above forward slash. What's the tag name? What's the tag name? Tag name is input. What's the attribute name and attribute value? What's the attribute name and attribute value? Type is equals to text or id is equals to abc. You can write anything, you can use anything, but what? The count should be 1 of 1. Yesterday we have discussed you can use anything, but count should be 1 of 1. Everybody understood the first expression, expert by attributes? Okay, but this also has a drawback. This also has a drawback. So what is a drawback? What's a drawback? Attributes are mandatory. Attributes are mandatory. So without attributes, can I write this? Without attributes, can I write this? No. And it does not support text. It does not support text. Attributes are mandatory. Okay, understood the first expression? Understood the first expression, everyone? Everybody's clear? Make a note. Make a note. Okay, so we are going to overcome this drawback with the help of XPath by text function. XPath by text function. Okay, how can we overcome this drawback? We can overcome this drawback with the help of what? XPath by text function. The syntax for XPath by set text function is double forward slash tag name text function equals to text value. Okay, double forward slash tag name text function equals to text value. Now tell me example, there is one button called as submit. When I right click, when I inspect div submit div, apply this into the above syntax. Apply this into the above syntax. Apply this into the above syntax. What's a tag name? What's a tag name? Double forward slash div. Okay. Double forward slash div. Okay. Text function. What's the value of the text? What's the value of the text? Submit. What's the value of the text? Submit. Understanding? Understanding how I'll be able to overcome the drawback of XPath by attributes? Understanding how are we able to overcome the drawbacks of XPath by attributes? Yes, make a note. Make a note. Make a note. Okay, so what are the XPath by text function as the drawbacks? What if the length of the text is very big? What if the length of the text is big? Okay, let's assume it's a paragraph. Okay, let's assume it's a paragraph. So, is it possible to copy complete paragraph and paste it? Is it possible? No. Correct, right? Okay, if the length of the text is very big, we cannot make use of XPath by text function. Okay, make a note. Make a note. They came up with the solution is XPath by. contains. Okay, in order to overcome this drawback, they came up with the solution is x path by contains. Now, guys, so let me tell you the advantages of this first. Let me tell you the advantages of x path by contains. First one, we can handle the lengthy text. We can handle the lengthy text. We can handle spaces. We can handle the spaces. We can handle the partially changing element. Partially changing element. So we can handle lengthy text, we can handle the spaces, we can handle the partially changing element. Okay, now let's try to understand one by one in detail. First, let's see the syntax. Let's see the syntax. Double forward slash tag name contains at the rate attribute name comma attribute value double forward slash tag name contains text function comma text value. Okay, now let's see one by one. First is, what's the meaning of we can handle lengthy text? What's the meaning of we can handle the lengthy text? Let's assume I've inspected an element. Okay, let's assume I've inspected an element. The text is very big. Hello, welcome to Q Spiders online classes to learn software testing. No, guys, the length of the text is very big. Will you copy paste the complete text and paste it in your code? Is it possible? It's possible, but your code looks, the text only looks very big rather than your code. Yes or no? The text looks very big. Correct, right? So I can use XPath by contains. How do I use XPath by contains? Double forward slash tag is span contains text function comma the text value. Okay, the part of the text. Okay, I can take anything. Let me take the word called welcome. Let me take the word called welcome. Are you understanding? Are you understanding? Contains means what? Half of it. It is containing, not complete. So you can take any half of the value, you can write. You can take any half of the value, you can take. Are you understanding? Are you understanding? Double forward slash span contains text function equals to welcome. So we can handle the lengthy text. What do you mean by lengthy text? Everybody is clear? Everybody is clear? Next, we can handle spaces. We can handle the spaces. What do you mean by we can handle the spaces? Let's assume there's one element. I inspected one element input. Guys, space is also character, correct, right? So let's assume all this are space. All these are space. All this are space. Log out. Log out. Tell me. Is it possible to count how many spaces are there, and is it possible to make a note? Is it possible to count? Because space is also character, we always know that. Is it possible? No. So what is the solution we have? XPath by contains double forward slash input contains text function logout. Clear? Clear? So what do you mean by handling spaces? Is it clear? What do you mean by handling spaces? Is it clear? Okay, next. We can handle partially changing element. Now, what is the meaning of partially changing element? Guys, if you consider a Gmail inbox, it's one element or two different element? It's one element or two different element? Gmail is different and the value is different. It's one element or two different element? It's one element, correct? Right? Inbox 340 is one element. It's not two different elements, one element. Isn't it? Yes or no? Everybody agrees? It's a one element. This is the one element. Yes or no? It's a one element. Now, guys, if you observe this number, is it constant or it is changing dynamically? If you observe, this number is constant or is changing dynamically? It is changing. It is changing. Now, let's assume the code is like this. Input inbox 340 input. Okay. I have written the XPath expression using XPath by text function. We know XPath by text function. Correct, right? Input text function equals to the value of the text is input 340. So if I write like this, so whenever the number changes, so this number is changing, correct, right? So if the number changes, is it possible for me to go and change it in my syntax always? Is it possible? No, it's not possible for me. It is not possible for me, isn't it? Yes or no? It is not possible for me, isn't it? Yes or no? Correct, right? It is not possible for me. It is not possible for me. So this is not text function is not preferred. Text function is not preferred. I'll go with XPath by contains. I'll go with XPath by contains. Input contains text function, comma, the value of the text, that is inbox. Are you understanding? Are you understanding? Okay. So what do you mean by partially changing element? Means the part of the element is changing, not completely. Okay, it's only the number is changing, correct, right? Only the part of the element is not changing, not the complete one. So I can go with x part by index. Now the let the number be 400, 500, 600, but still my expression is able to handle. Yes or no? Still my expression is able to handle. Okay, next. What if the length of the attribute value is very big? What if the attribute value is very big? Okay, so let's assume you have inspected one element. There was one element you inspected. So the attribute value is very big. Input ID is equals to ABC, XYZ, PQR, element, okay, ZZZ, ABC. Okay, see, this is an attribute value. Are you able to see the attribute value is so big? Yes or no? And between there is a spaces also. Yes or no? For that, the syntax is what? Double forward slash input at the rate ID is equals to ABC. Sorry, contains is there, no? Contains at the rate ID, comma, ABC. Are you understanding? If attribute values are very big also, we have a solution. If the text is very, very big also, we have a solution. Everybody's clear? Everybody's clear? 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 Start making a note. Start making. Understand, learn every syntax and make a note. Start writing.